Hey, welcome back. I always say everybody, but nobody's here. Just me in the basement. And, our creator is with us too. And that's why I'm here. I want you guys to experience the joy of your creator being with you, alive in you, especially during these times where a lot of people are celebrating holidays, Christmas, whatever it is that you do. I used to celebrate Christmas, I don't anymore. Um, anyway, I figure it's a good day as any to make a YouTube video. I really don't have anything scripted today because I figure, I've tried to promote the website by using the name Prince Rogers Nelson. I do that because everybody knows who that is. Prince, people say Prince, but you always notice I make the differentiation because of the cloning and the things that were going on. So, but more than that, you guys, is the fact that I myself am starting to feel a little remiss and a little not right about leaning more heavily on how, like, I come here and I sit here and say the one the world knows as Prince is the creator. And people may not understand that. And I've tried to explain it a trillion different ways. And I'm going to try again to the best of my understanding because I can't explain everything. Like, you have to remember, I went and had my life after life situation when I died and overdosed in 2010. And I met him there and he told me things that I remember. And since the spring of 2020 has been communicating with me in my soul. It's what I call, or I've come to call, soul hearing. Um, uh, it's not somebody literally whispering in your voice, though. And I mean, in your ear, not your voice. I do say tripped out things. Just stay with me. Um, it's soul hearing. Anyway, it's how you know it's right, and it's how he communicates with me. And I can literally, like I said the other day, you guys, it's as if I'm having surgery when I meditate. It's like there's surgery on my brain, and my whole body is unaware of my brain. So, like, I always say this: if you picture your brain like an octopus, or I'm sorry, a jellyfish in there, so it's sitting and it has all these tentacles hanging down into your spine. And like, that's you, that's your soul, that's the part of you that is cut off from the creator. Like, that's the part of you that people call the conscience, or people say when people die, their DMT just explodes and they experience who knows what. But I know what, I was there, and everything for a reason. But what I wanted to get at was, like, I want to lean a little bit more heavily, you guys, on making you understand. I went to go lean on my thing and I fell. Hey, welcome. That's what I get for trying to hold this book. Anyway, this sweet chair. It is a sweet chair, though. I sit in it enough. Let me get past that slip up. The show must go on. In this case, it's not a show. It's very real. Back here on the board. Okay, my cat's in here apparently. Back here on the board, you can see the usual 314 pi equation. Okay, you guys, you have to know only one creator is able to explain to me in that soul hearing how these things break down. And because I have the life after life experience that I can relate it back to as well, it's like, because it was my soul experiencing it, it's more readily able to be accessed than like a dream sometimes. But because I know how real it was, it's not just something off in our imagination. It's the creator, because he creates everything for us and for you and for me. And everybody says, like, she's crazy. She says Prince is God. She says Prince is God. But you guys, let me ask you this. Like I said, if I came here and said I had a life after life experience, I met God, and I told you all these things, but I never once mentioned the name Prince Rogers Nelson or like any of that. We didn't talk about the investigation or anything like that. I don't know if it would make you listen more or less or whatever, but I'm trying to make this knowledge, this information a little bit more accessible. But to do that, I guess I know that I have to slow down a little bit because it's new to me. It's not like I don't know who trying to come here. I'm just trying to explain. Listen, the plan that I'm always talking about, the plan included taking his intellectual property, they call it Warner Brothers in the media, his slave masters, fighting for his masters. That's what the media always said. But again, it was more than that. And this fight goes to the intellectual property, which is the soul. So, say for instance, I don't know, it was a couple months ago now, I wrote this thing in one of the books where the poop was the Pope, the Pope. You know how I feel about that. Was making a call for that saying that the COVID was going to be so bad that people would need to sign over their intellectual property and like art and things like that, because if it got so bad on humanity that people would put each other in jeopardy and that people should forego their right to their own intellectual property. Why would somebody say something so crazy like that? Why? Because they already did it in the original contract. Take a look at the Mercedes-Benz commercial from the Super Bowl. That little contract, the contract, part of the plan. Well, ours truly, the soul was there. I guess you could say sold if you want, but there was no money made. So it was more given as a sacrifice, because how was the creator able to walk this earth and well, let me say this to you. If you are a Bible reader and you believe on this man of Jesus that we've been sold here in the United States and many other countries as well, you can believe that. And you can believe these generations of Abraham and Isaac and all these great matriarchs and patriarchs. And but then somewhere along the way that just stopped with 12 dudes who said that Jesus went away and now they were in control. No, they were in control to build brick and mortar churches and make things the way that they wanted to teach them after they'd said this dude Jesus was long gone and hey, this is what he said for us to tell you. So this is what you're telling you. And the only way you can reach him is by coming to our brick and mortar churches, giving us 10% or more, and on down the line. So then why can't you believe that lineage was passed down through reincarnated souls, that those great patriarchs and souls, they still exist in you and me. We are those souls. I know I am, and I know that you guys are. You just don't recognize it because maybe you didn't have the life after life that I did. And for whatever reason, this is, I know why, you guys. I remember quite clearly. It just makes me giggle and it makes me shy. Because I think it was even, the memory that I have is even before my life after life when I OD'd in 2010. It seems to be before that because it's like this memory of, it's like he was standing there asking, like so many of us souls were there called together or something like that. And then he was saying to me that people that the United States, Merkava, as I've discussed in the other videos, we are the Merkava. We're America. That's the Merk sauce. It's Merked. It's the Merkaba. It's the same thing in the Hebrew alphabet. The B and the V make the same noise. That's why I do that. And it's also why I'm going to say for the storyline, Prince named his son Amir. It was to bring our attention to America. America, Merked, Merkava. Okay? Anyway, so what I mean to say is because the soul was sold, It was because the evils that exist in this world, they agreed to let him stay around, sing and dance and do this and work as a slave and this and that and tortured and this and that and that. And he had to take it all to give this message to me, to give to you guys, that we as Americans, the plan, have been sold the freedom, the 1776. Okay. If you total up 1776, it equals 21. Okay. I've talked about it in the other videos, so I don't want to go too far off track. We are 245 years from 1776. Okay. 245, which is 2 nines, or 9-1, which is the same old 1-6 Sabbath day rest upside down, 1691, or 1914, which we're always talking about. Whether you read the Bible or whether you don't, whether you've ever believed on Jesus and considered yourself saved, or tried to study this religion or that religion, or think you're a Buddhist, or think that you're going to be saved by doing yoga, you would be mistaken. I was told that we here in America, that this is what he told me too, that as the creator, he's very much in control of everything, but due to the contracts, things are forced a certain way sometimes. So there has to be what one would call, I don't know, I'm going to say retributions, but that's probably not the right word. That's not the right word. Like when people do bad things, like they bring bad things on themselves. Like when your kid is really naughty and you got to discipline them because you love them, but like on a much grander scale. And he doesn't want to do those things, but sometimes those things happen. And I'm not saying all bad things that are happening is his fault. I'm saying that his energy and that his powers have been misused due to the contractual plan. And he tries to be as merciful as possible, yet when I was there in my life after life was very, dare I say, respectfully fed up with us as a people, as well he should be. Look at what goes on. Even if you yourself are not guilty, by way of collective conscious, you are. We needn't talk about all the filth that exists in the world. What we need to do is get rid of it, okay? And then that's why I'm here, is to tell you that our courageous leader, our reincarnated soul of souls, was here, you guys, and he allowed us to see him and to know him, and he taught us by way of music, okay? And I listened because I was stalking the music, because the music saved my life, okay? Literally. I explained it elsewhere, you guys, but like, there's other people out there that have lost family, and I don't know what you used to get you through, and maybe you're still healing. But I can tell you that the soft, real quiet Prince music, you could put it on as a meditation list. Sweet Baby, Don't Talk to Strangers. There's a lot of beautiful songs. I'll have to figure out how to put some playlists on here, but I know I'm off track today, you guys, but it's because I feel remiss when I don't come here, and like I don't know where else to make the videos be seen at. I try to spread them on the remembrance websites and stuff, but I don't think everybody likes that, because I think I'm trying to be popular, but only in the way that it's going to bring attention to the truth, because he is coming. Amen. And I don't know what else is coming, you guys. Like I've said often before, I feel, and I've written about many World War III prophecies in my writings. I hesitate to say them because I never want to be the martyr playing the wrong cards, but I'm just not afraid to make a mistake and get up and brush the shoulders off and do it again. Pardon me. Over the last 18 months, I think I've kept Starbucks in business single-handedly, so you're welcome. The plan, you guys, runs so deep that it was sold to us through our very history. Let's just talk about our history from what we were all, you and I, our generation. I'm 51 born days as of today, or now. And like I said, it's people of a certain generation or understanding of wisdom that are going to feel what I'm saying, and I'm praying that younger people will come to know and to feel what I'm saying too, because maybe you haven't been exposed properly to the truth of the Torah, which is the first 5 books in the Bible, and what you can find in this beautiful, I still hold it upside down sometimes because it's black and I can't see. Emunah.com, EMUNAH.com, Rav Jor's website. It's Hebrew on one side and English on the other. It's quite beautiful. Instead of learning the wrong way from what those 12 men, those 12 white men, and the so-called J.W. Hall, they're run by 12 white men as well. Imagine that. Anyway, off subject. I came here today to share love, you guys, and to let you know that I was hearing last night that not only were we a generation that we were sold out. Everybody says, oh, that artist sold out or that artist sold out. We all know what sold out means. But that we as a people have been sold out. But that's like, this is what I hear. Either because we are the last generation, because this, as the 1776 goes to 1777 on January 1st, and I'll explain that here shortly. Literally when you take 1777 and spell it out, even I have just recently learned, and I've explained in some of the other videos, that it spells the name David in Hebrew. So on January, see, here it is. I've showed you guys this before. The reason that is it's Vav Dalet Vav, or Vav Dalet Vav. Dalet Vav Dalet. I'm sorry. I apologize. Dalet Vav Dalet. So in the Hebrew Aleph Bet, all those 2 letters, because there's only 2, they look like 7s. And so on January 1st, that's what we're going to have is 1. It'll be 1 1 2 2 2, but 2s are 7s upside down, so it's going to read as 1777, which is the same as his name upside down and backwards, which is an insult, which is probably what I just said when I spelled it. So again, I apologize. Anyway, off subject again, you guys. There's so many things to say that I end up not saying them, and I say that I'm not going to come here and try to show you proofs, but I always do. He told me that we had been sold out. That the reason that I'm always hearing about, like, you guys, in 2020, in the spring of 2020 in Michigan, it was so gray, I told you before, and so weird, and all the writings and social distancing and all the praying and all the prayers and all the websites, like my hand would literally be moved on YouTube. Like he would take me to what videos to watch. He would take my hand and move it, and I didn't know what was going on. And you have to realize this has been going on now since basically, I have to say, April 1st of 2020. So it's still unfolding for me too. So, but this is not the kind of thing that you keep to yourself. It took me so long. I have so many writings, and I'm getting them there. I'm really trying to get them together so that I can, get them published so you can read them, because I'm a much better writer than a speaker, I think. Because there's so much to say. And I wanted to make sure I had the volume turned all the way up. I heard my other video was quiet. Sorry, somebody came into the room. You guys, so the writing has evolved is what I mean to say. And I'm still trying to understand it, but it's too important to keep to myself. So I'm going to show you some more of the... what did I just do with it? Oh well, somebody came down to do their laundry. I got distracted. It's no big deal. Something I haven't mentioned, you guys, is as this process has gone along, it wasn't just the music and the maps and the writings. It's what he gave me was like the song Wally. Wally, where'd you get those glasses? Those are the freakiest glasses I've ever seen. Um, it's like when he helps me to write and to see and to hear these things, I'm like Wally. And I have his glasses on. It enables me to see the way that he does. So, what is my point? I have this little book, and it may not look like much, but for instance, it says Salvatore Monday, and it goes on to explain things, and you can see that it's upside down 70 times 7, so forth. And that it would say, Will I am. And now, listen, you guys, I know this might look like chicken scratch, but I told myself I'm going to share it with you because it doesn't do me any good to come here and sit and say, oh, this is what happened, and then not show you. This goes on and on and on because what happened is when he, for instance, I would look into the piece of art, and that's what would be inside the art. That's what the sfumato writings and the shading and things like that would tell me. It enables me to read the messages that Da Vinci was leaving in the paintings because he is that artist. So the goggles that I wear enable me to see that. So it goes on to write where he writes, I am him, well, I am. The Shroud of Turin, there's things that I noted. It's probably very hard to see, but again, in the Shroud, it showed me 77 times 7. It showed me the numeral 1776. It says, when I looked into the Shroud of Turin, this is what I wrote. 77 times 7, power of 369, Adonai, the dates that make the countdown, palindrome, question mark, repetitive. It's like Prince said, the wages outweigh the time they keep. And then it says, see corresponding photos of the hands that show basically MK Ultra. And that's what I wrote down on here. The mark in MK Ultra. The pitchfork is like 3 sevens together, or a W for the J Hall folks. Yeah. So again, I want to share with you guys, and it may or may not look like chicken scratch, but these things would happen under a trance. And what you see on the side is not just chicken scratch. It's the name, it's everlasting now. And I wrote it around in a circle, and it's like the lyrics and the name of the Lord that you're not supposed to say. And then this other one is really, really cool. Again, this was written in a trance, and you can see how all the good things were on this side and all the bad things were on this side. And then all this stuff happened towards the end. I was upside down and like basically sleeping, love, sexy, spooky, electric, the one. And then around the outer edge, it says the greatest romance ever sold. If your last December ever came, sun, moon, and stars don't seem as far as they did before. Look at this one, you guys. Check this out. This is a drawing that it came to me and doodled, and don't laugh. It was like a space man with lots and lots of eyes, and whose parts went in every direction. Because he has lots and lots of eyes, because that's how they say he sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Everything goes back to the one. Everything, every nursery rhyme, every hickory dickory dock. Okay, they refer to him most often as the cow. That's really why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free means. This is a picture I drew while I was listening to The Beautiful Ones on headphones, and this is actually the two eyes and the little body that goes down. It's his like electric body, little miniature electric body self. I love it. Mwah. Here's another one of he always tells me or showed me also in my life after life that something was wrong with one of his eyes, because I think that's where the eye for an eye thing comes from, and I'm pretty sure that something happened with that. That's all I want to say about that. And see, when I would look at the Shroud of Turin, what would happen is I saw, what they were depicting as the Jesus, and then I would see the Sephiroth for the Tree of Life, and then also the alien within, as well as the infinity symbol for the 8, which is 808, which is Maui, which I'm always referring to as well. Now, I know that these look, like children's drawings. I'm aware, but I believe that they're all quite meaningful. I know that they are, in fact, and priceless, as they came from the Creator's hand. You guys, so many things came to me about the Declaration of Independence. First of all, I was reading the Beautiful Ones book, and you might be familiar with that page where it shows his passport photo or whatever. From his passport photo in that book, this is what I ended up writing. I'm going to let you look at that for a minute. I know it's hard to see with the glare here. I'll share. Hold on. Now, just from that passport photo. Now, what it ended up telling me was that I'll read it to you first. What it said, the Secretary of State of USA hereby requests all whom it may concern canceled USA, April 25th, 1996. 10 to the 9th power generation, I would write. It was 10-9, which is 19. It was all over my writings, the 10-9. And then I wrote down the same letters that were on the ID. And then it says, U.S. Abel's son, Prince Rogers Nelson, COVID sacrifice plan since the beginning. So when I was looking at that, that's what came. And I didn't mean the passport. I meant the the little yellow and white photo that Keanu Reeves has one in the Matrix. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Because this is the Matrix, you guys. This is Spooky Electric Matrix. It's IA. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about the 1776 for a minute, you guys, because that's how we have been sold through our history. Now, could take it back to Babylon if you want. Take it back to the Babylon Tower when languages were confused, because they most certainly were. In fact, so much, pardon me, that I have this whole book, the Aleph Bet, the Hebrew things that have been shown to me and told to me, starting from how it's a consonantal language. Now, stick with me, you guys. You'll appreciate it. Consonant. It's the term, a consonant. Con, C-O-N, S-O-N. Con, son. That's what we've been sold. So, anyway, all of this book breaks down various things about. Here, let me get you a look. It's a trip. So what I would do is I was working on the letters, the Hebrew alphabet, and they would tell me things, each and every letter. And then it was telling me how the I before E except after C breaks down to the CIA rule, and how the Aleph breaks down into looking like the swastika, and it's the KKK, and that's where they get that as well, because if you look at it that way, it looks like a K for kingdom, or for KKK, which would be K times 3, which is 77 times 7. So that's why they do the KKK. Okay, I told you all of these things. MK, like on South Park. MK, it's MK Ultra, Monarch Butterfly. Okay, it's all there. So you can see that out of the letter A, all of these things came about. It starts telling me about nephilim and napalm, because what happens is the letters, because they're mathematical, well, I don't think it can happen for just anybody, but these things that I say, they're being taught this way to me. I just wanted to show you guys a few examples. Hold on 1 second. Book is a little heavy. So, with people expecting to come here and just hear about, Prince or Prince Rogers Nelson, it ain't going to happen, because the videos are going to start getting a little more heavy duty. And I guess this is, kind of an intro into that. I want you guys to really understand how, deep this all goes, and why, because we are a nation that has been written off. Like, let me say this before I show you any more pictures. From what I remember in my life after life, because of the contracts, nobody could ever know who he was, or who he is and continues to be and always will be. But during the time that we knew as this Prince walking the earth, like, you can't just walk around saying, "Hi, I'm God," and then expect people to believe you. Like, nobody can say that. And even so, as part of the contract, it just is what it is. People wouldn't believe it anyway. And again, for those biblical readers, even they say with that man Jesus, he showed people holes in his hands and they still didn't believe him. You know what I'm saying? So I guess once I've gotten over the fact that, like I kept saying, if I could just convince them, if I could just make it like a love story to their ears, like, I've been saying the word "like" too much. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to be descriptive. Because of our nation being sold to 1776 and being written off that things would be all anew in 1777, but what they really mean by that is the reverse of 17:7, which is the reverse of King David, which is the reverse of the one, the soul, the greatest soul ever known. But then there was some kind of weird agreement in the heavenly place, and this I want everybody to listen to real closely, because it means you, and I can only say this the best way I know how, and I don't mean any insults to anybody or anything ever. In fact, I'm coming here to help you with what you've been sold. All that glitters ain't gold. And I've seen firsthand, including some very close friends and family members and different people who tend to live by the way that they believe that they walked into their brick and mortar church, and they said that they believed on the Old Man Johnson's Farm 316, and that they think that they're saved once and for all, and it doesn't really matter what they do, or if they watch porn, or if they, God forbid, do things that I don't even want to mention, that it's all going to be A-okay because they're saved and their Creator has their back. Those people, when it comes time to ascend, which is coming very shortly, and to answer in redemption for who their soul is and what they have been, I've come here to tell you guys that basically we were thrown out like trash as a generation, because the powers that be in the world, for some reason, are able to say that that's what we are, and that they needed to depopulate and get rid of as many sick, pre-existing condition people as possible, to kill off a generation of people with opioids and addict all the other ones, and then throw the other ones in prison. And then what do you have left? You have the orphans, the malleable ones, the 20-somethings. And that's what they're aiming for, because they want to create a new generation in their World War III, and that generation will be brought in from the 1777 and forward in this new flashy stick thing from Independence Day and forward. Now, I don't know how that's all going to happen. I think it goes back to the holograms and the Antichrist situation, or God forbid, the World War III with the shipping containers sitting on the docks out there in Los Angeles. It's concerning, to say the least. And anyway, I was told that the things that might happen will have to happen in order to show us what's wrong with ourselves before people will learn. But the better and the faster that people start to learn their soul correction and to talk to their creator like you talk to your best friend, and to be honest about everything, and to know that, golly, if you're lying, you're not talking to him anyway. You're talking to yourself, and barely that. And you're talking to your enemy when you're lying. You guys, when I stood there in my life after life, and you realize that it's not just the creator that knows things about you, but there's like angels and beings and helpers, and the little voice that you hear that tells you what's right and what's wrong. And like every single thing you do, every single thought you have, there's only right or wrong. That's it. You're going to choose right or you're going to choose wrong. And even so, you have to answer for every decision that you make. Like, I mean, even if you were too lazy to fill the dog's bowl, I'm talking about stuff that simple, because there's only a right and a wrong way. And you know when you're choosing wrong. So from filling the dog's bowl to cheating on your wife to, whatever your dirt, you know what I'm saying? Take it to him, clean yourself, wash yourself, go to him and talk to him, and know that you're not hiding anything, because as your creator and your best friend, he is already part of that filth in your DNA. So by layering on the filth with your lies, you're only making it worse. You don't get to go to him when you're clean. You don't, because you're never going to be that clean until, and if he says so, I'm not sure. What makes me right, you guys? What makes me confident? I'm telling you, I wasn't this person before. I've always been pretty bold, but it's based on all the things that I've seen, heard, felt, acknowledged, written, learned, researched, prayed about. And as I said, we talk. It just is what it is. It's part of the plan. They're the opposite of good out there that doesn't want this to be going on, because what they thought was going to happen was that this knowledge was going to be taken out of the world with the one the world knows as Prince Rogers Nelson. Now, see, he told me when I was in the life after life that I was who I was, that everything that I had ever done to stalk the music and to listen so closely for 37 years was for this purpose, because, again, I believe that there was a fight amongst the angel people and the powers up there, and they didn't want a human being to have this information because they didn't think that we who were sold out were worthy to have it. And I was like, no, that ain't right, because I just talked like my normal self. And they said, no, I mean, I hope I was respectful. But I said, that's not right. I said, we people, like humanity people, need this information because, like, what do the angel people need it for? Because they're perfect and they were made perfect. So if we were made just a little lower than them, we'll give it to us, and I'll take it down there and I'll tell it to them. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care about being laughed at. And then that's how all the other stuff in my life that had taken place had formed me for this ability to come here. Because even though it doesn't seem like to me that I'm, like say a hero runs into a burning building, they're all like, well, wouldn't anybody do that? Well, I would hope that just anybody would do this, because you don't hear and acknowledge and then not do, like, just you don't. So hopefully that makes sense. I want to get to something that's back here. I touched on it. I've gone back and watched my videos, you guys, the very earlier videos a couple months ago, like the 314 equals pi, Prince Rogers Nelson videos. They're very, very informative. I'm just a little wiggly and antsy because I'm new to sitting here and being on the camera. So I try not to repeat myself. For those that have seen those videos, it might be a little repetitive, but it's always very helpful because there's joy in repetition, right? If you're not familiar, you might think you don't like math. You might think, what the heck is she talking about? The pi equals 314 life equation. You guys. This, okay? This. I've shown you this beautiful, beautiful. It's very heavy. I have to be careful, okay? They tried to sell that this mathematical equation is the circumference of a circle and yada, yada, yada. And yes, I did watch Jerry Seinfeld, so that's where I got that. Anyway, you guys, I want to tell you, and it's really important, without getting like a teacher and standing up there at the board. 314 equals pi. How can we be sold that as the answer to life, this equation to life, but then not realize these things? When you look at it, it tells us of 1914. In the song 1914, you've been here since 1914, hiding behind corporate eyes, devil, devil. Okay? So in here, in the 314 equals pi, when you start to see them as numerals, because let's remember, it's alphanumerics, aleph, bet. Alphanumerics is why the Army does alpha, blah, 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 all that. So it turns into 1914, okay? That's when World War I was, okay? Now, also, not only was 1914 when World War I was, 419 is when I believe Mark Metz, the M&M killer playing Mickey Mouse games, Mark Metz, M&M, announced that there would be no charges on 419 as well. And what else was it on 1914? Pardon. I forgot what the other thing was that I had. But anyway, it predicts the 314, the equation tells us of 1914 World War I. It also tells us of the 419 when Mark Metz predicted or said that there would be no charges. 14 plus 19 equals 33, which gives us the 33rd degree Masonry. Okay. When you're able to see these letters as alphanumerics, you start to see also that the whole thing, it's hard to explain to you guys. How did I do that? I have to look down. Oh, okay. So the fours, the one that appear in the middle, they actually, when they're upside down in numerics, are 6, 9. And so that's what I did is I dropped the E down and then they became the 6, 9. So then you bring the I down. And what happens is it ends up telling us, sorry, you can't see it with the glare. It's the 369 equation. And it also tells us apple and lie, and the, which is the biblical lie about the apple. It tells us alien, elite, lie. And it spells out all those things. Sorry about that. Always so professional. Leave it to me. This is what I want to say, you guys. I've talked about it before. Purple Rain, the song, was written in a suspended 2 chord. Okay, you know how he plays 4 times, and then plays 6 times and holds out on. So when you count down 4, 3, 2, 1, like you do on New Year's Eve or whatever else, 4, 3, 2, 1, but you skip the 2, like up here in the top. That's why I have it written. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1, but you skip the 2, then that's a sus 2. Then what are you left with? 4, 3, 1. 4, 3, 1, which is pi, which also spells out a myriad of other things like Prince and Elizabeth and Pride and lots of other things. Anyway, also with the 4, 3, 2, 1 sus 2, you bring it down, and you also, that's why he told us of 31, 21. That's the same. Do you see how it carries over yet? Hopefully. Now, on December 31st of this year, you guys, just as it was on October 31st and every other month of the year that has a 31st this year, and I don't know the calendar song, so I don't know how many that is. The date will be 31/21. Okay, don't you want to come? 31/21. You can come if you want to, but you can never leave. Now, as the 31/21 turns the clock, and the next day is 1/1/2, 222. If you drop the zeros, but you turn the twos upside down, then they're sevens or nines. And we have 1999. Okay. Ours truly was in this mind space where this knowledge became available or is available or he made, and somehow I don't really understand how it's all parted to me except for the soul hearing. So in there with the 1914, the 419, the 69 is actually 69 equals 15, which gives us the 666, because by way of it being a 6 and a 9 upside down, and then the fact that they spell 15 together gives us another 6. It's the way they play with what they use the word magic, but that's just anyway. You guys, what am I saying? I'm saying that if you use the equation of life, it tells you World War I, World War II. It gives you the 369 equation to life, the gematria to the name King David. The reason why they lie about the apple being the word, if you take out the L, then it becomes the word ape. And they say that we're only one gene removed from the apes. But it also is APE is 666 also an upside down gematria. Write it down in the old fashioned letters. See, APE 666. It's what it is, you guys. Every single thing, from the nursery rhymes to the way that we learn our A first, when in the Hebrew alphabet, it's actually silent and dormant, much like the clones I talked about in the paranormal jacked up situation video. They're silent and dormant until a certain time, you guys. And I don't know. I know that what's coming, like I always say, whether it's while I'm here, after I'm gone, if I'll be gone, like I don't know what else I can do to show you. I don't know. Like here, I could take Jim Olson's. Let's see. I have this many pages, which is quite a few. You can't really see them. Listening to Jim Olson's report, his press conference there, and every single word that he said, I wrote down. And every single word I can explain to you how and why he's lying, which I do in that publication, that partial essay that I've started writing on the Pride Piper Facebook website, as well as my personal one. But what is my point, you guys? As part of the plan, this has been going on since the very beginning of time. He paid his way to stay here by acting as Violet the organ grinder, okay? Continually working. That's why everybody always said how tired he was, and so on and so on. And also what I've been remembering too is that the entity, I think, I hesitate to say things because I don't know if they're right, but it's like the female Taika type energy being like a twin sister, and that's why he would sing about my sister never made anyone close, made love to anyone close but me. And I think that if I recall, they might have been twins, and that I don't know, because a part of that clonage, the power, the consciousness through the contract that they allow, that they use is somehow being used. That's why I was always thinking about plastic surgery. If your girlfriend didn't have the surgery, maybe she could see what I see. Chlorine bacon skin, first wife being like a pig, comparison, those kind of comparisons. What he also would tell me was that the other clone prince would make music, like bad music, and that part of the reason he was always working so hard in the studio is because he had to go back and fix that music to make it marketable to the point where we could hear it and understand it and want to listen to it. Also, I have to admit, although I won't stop listening, I'll just fast forward probably a little bit. You know how you have some songs that you love and some songs that you can't stand? Dinner with Dolores, the new Coming to America album, which was never to see the light of day. the music was made by the others and was always being corrected. And also, all the screams that are famous throughout the music are screams caused with electrocution and electricity and plectrum electrum. So it does cause some grief and pain, but I think that you guys should know that too. I write about it in my essay. Not something that makes me very comfortable to talk about, but because today I just want you to understand that how much love I have, like, seriously, for each and every one of you guys, for my family that thinks I'm crazy, for my friends that stopped talking to me 2 years ago, for anybody who skims by my videos when I send them to them. Like, I'm begging you guys to listen to me because trust and believe. When this stuff happens that I'm talking about, I will never say I told you so. I will just say, please talk to him. I'm coming here to guide you to him. Please listen to him now. I don't have time for all the I told you so's. There's a lot of things I don't want to be right about. I hesitate to say them. I'm not here to be right. I'm here to share with you that our creator is coming, and I want you to recognize him, and I want you to understand that it's about the DNA that makes you able to see, hear, smell, taste, and makes your heart beat when you get up in the morning. So many people say, thank you, when they get up in the morning. Get away from me, Satan. They don't even know what they're saying. They don't even know what they're saying. I mean, at least they're trying. I'll give them that. But I'm saying, don't say words that aren't from your heart. You have only one creator, one best friend, one. If you guys don't get to know him now, it's going to be really more awkward for you, I guess, on Redemption Day. And like when I was there in my life after life, that was one of the things that I don't want to say proud of, because that's not the right word, but when they told me that I could stand before my creator, like it was before I knew it was him, and like that I could stand there and earn something or something, I was like, well, okay, let's go. I don't need to go back and do this again. I'll just do it now because I haven't lied about anything. And I didn't. And so that was really cool. And I want you guys to feel that too, because again, what the world has been taught, or if you have not been taught anything, welcome to what's true. I know it's hard for some people to take. Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know what it is, you guys. I can only pray that it's like I said, I walk around being a candle, and I light your candle, and my candle doesn't get any dimmer, but then you go out and you be a candle to the people around you. They don't want us here. They think that we're a burden, and who we are as a people will be challenged very soon. The next go round doesn't want the kind of king that we have, the kind of God that we have, the kind of creator that is. And I think for what I feel is an impending World War III situation with Asia, they don't want a frou-frou God, I think. And so they said in some way that the United States had to do away with their God, and that's what's been done with the very sick ceremony that they had this year on 4/30 of 21, which is also the date 4321. I talk about it in Maroon, Israel, on the Maroon videos here on YouTube. It was a ceremony of some sort because of the date. It spelled out 4321. Now here in December on 4321 of 21, we will be 8 months later, which is again the infinity, the 808. Now we got Facebook calling themselves Meta, when you got, the names for the angels, Metatron and Matat. I'm not Metatron. Jeez, that's freaking. What do you call them? Them. Sorry, Matat. The angel Matat is what I wanted to say, which also to me in upside down gematria spelled out the word water as well as Victor. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say those things or not, so forgive me if I'm not. But this whole time I've been hearing about the age of Aquarius, water war, H2O war, about Maui being the 808, the infinity symbol. 8 plus 8 is 16, which would be the 6-1, the reverse of the Sabbath, the 1-6, the 1-9. There it is, which also in COVID-19, when you write it down and write it real close together, what you get when you write ID 19 is you get the D and the 9. The balls from that will create the same infinity symbol. If you ever go look at Prince Rogers Nelson's signature, he rolls the P and the R, I'm not sure the first part of the signature together, so it looks like an 8 going across crossways. It's because of the 808. So, you guys, I said that I would tell this information, and I also will never stop trying to say it. I was told in my life after life that Elizabeth, myself, I was some kind of righteous soul, or some kind of could earn my way to this righteousness, or I don't know, by just being me. And so that's what you're going to get when you come here and see me, is just me. I don't know how to be, nor do I ever in my life have I ever wanted to be anybody else. So I think that's another reason that I was chosen in this way, is because he knew that I would tell the truth. Look, I'm not even coming in makeup anymore, you guys, because I too am on my own, soul journey over here, trying to be in touch as spiritually and naturally as possible. And lost the nail polish. It's just, it's not that anything's right or wrong, like in that way, but the more in touch with physicality that you are, the less in touch likely you can be with your soul. That's why everybody wants to get back to nature, get back to quiet, take a bath, kayak, listen, meditate. And no matter what it is, do it with your whole family. All of you guys, everybody, because I don't know. I can't get rid of this feeling in my heart that something really icky is coming, you guys, and it's going to be really painful, like our generation has never seen, and we're going to need each other and our Creator. And so, again, another reason why I'm here is so that you acknowledge who He is, regardless of how the golden calf was sold as singing and dancing and all that glitters ain't gold, because it's only an image. He's everything. He's much more than that. He's like the drawings that I showed you earlier. He can see and hear absolutely everything. And don't you think I forget it for one moment. Thank you. You guys, in the apple pie is also the elite alien lie. Take the word alien, ALIEN, a lie in. Is there aliens? Is there not? Is there AI technology? Look what the millennia is that you're going into. It's all about the AI. It's all about what we've learned and what we've come this far and this and that. But no, NASA's been up our butts since the beginning. Trojan horse situation. I told you. It's nothing but a big game to them. But you guys, this is the other deal that I want to say before I go. And that is that I remember, and I said it before, I must say it again. When I was there in the life after life, I was given the opportunity. I think I might have earned my way there with my honesty or something like that. Maybe that's what it was. That's when he took me up above all the planets and all the, I don't even know how we flew. I think I held on to him. Something. It wasn't like in a physical kind of way. It was very different, more holographic. But took me up above that and showed me. Shoot, I forgot what I was going to say. Give me a second. We are so very small, you guys. I know a lot of people have never even been in an airplane, and if you ever have been and you look down, they always say people look like ants, and we look like I mean, we are nothing. We are dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. We humans, people, generation, we see ourselves as all that. And we don't realize how very nothing and small we are. So when I'm talking about wiping out a generation or a new generation coming in, or however it is that's going to take place, or they're going to try to trick in martial law or the Antichrist or holographic this or that to implement all those things, I'm not sure. Probably a combination thereof. But I don't say that to come here and scare you guys. I come here to tell you that, holy, I wouldn't want to talk about those things if I didn't have to. But it's the whole thing. It's the occult. It's the masonry. It's the vampires. It's the generations, and they don't want us here anymore. It's the Enoch chapter 6, where sky people had sex with women. They took them. They went in unto them and made children because they wanted their seed to be in women. And then here we have this Canaan, the woman giving some to her husband who was with her. The reason he was with her, because they were of one soul. So let me ask you this. If Eve was over there chomping on the apple, her husband who was with her of one soul was with her, and so was the serpent and his wife, which is probably where we get the circle of four, okay? The quartet, the foursome. Everything that we've been sold is a lie. All the animals had wives back in the day. You read the Hebrew, you understand. I talked about it in the video the other day. It's all biblically based. It wasn't the eating of an apple. It wasn't the Apple computer. It wasn't the opening and closing disgusting occultic Olympic ceremonies that they did in 2012 with the apple and the Adam and the Eve and the CERN. Disgusting CERN. When they opened CERN over there in Switzerland, go YouTube the opening ceremony to where they depict all kinds of sexual demons and stuff like that. It all comes back to this. It all comes back. You guys, you're going to learn something, and it hurts. It hurts me to say it, and it sucks, and it makes me mad. But then I have to remember that it's all for a reason. Every single thing in this world is set up as an insult to the Creator, down to us now currently being asked to mask our own DNA, because by masking your own DNA, you're masking that of your Creator. Please free yourselves. What can you do, you guys? Forget about what you've been taught in the world, or listen to what I'm saying, because what I'm trying to tell you is the truth. Like, if you want, grab a Bible, read. I know the old stuff is hard to understand. Even I don't read it as much as I should. It's kind of just told to me. But it's not what we were sold, you guys. And it's like being told to play pin the tail on the donkey. It's like having your eyes covered over when you come into the world and you're born into the world. It's like the baby comes in and they have a mask on and it says, now find your way through the world. You know, we all do stuff. We all make mistakes. And hopefully if you are real and honest and good, you want to be. I know that there's tough times out there. I know people hurt. I know they lose loved ones. I know their loved ones get locked up. Their kids get taken away. I've experienced it all in my own family, man. Life hurts. But once you realize that you chose to experience those pains before you came into this world, because they solidify you as a soul, because as much as it hurts, you have to learn your way through those things so that you can ascend and move on to the next thing. I'm not talking about putting on robes and going and chanting on mountaintops. I'm not talking about Kill Bill, running up and down steps. I'm talking about whatever you can do that can bring you closer to you. Put your phone down, bring your kids into your arms, read them a book, tell them truths, look them in their eyes while you're talking to them, explain to them that you're sorry, that the world has changed, but there's a reason for it. You guys are going to be drawn near as a family. Tell them that they have a Creator. Tell them that they're each special and individual. Tell them each what their beautiful personality traits are and what they mean to you. That's what they'll remember today, not what they unwrapped. I think I talked myself quiet. Bye, guys.